Gather round. You know what time it is. It is time once again for another episode of the Professional Nomad Podcast. Thank you if you are able to join and watch this podcast on YouTube live today. If you're watching this on the replay, I also want to make sure I give you a big salute and tell you thank you as well. Um, I also want to say thank you to our new subscribers, and I want to tell everyone else who watches the content that has not subscribed as of yet, please hit that subscribe button. And when you do, while you're there, please make sure you hit that notification button. It's free, it doesn't cost you a dime. We're not trying to sell you nothing over here, I promise. Just trying to give you what's real. See, we got people in the chat early today. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, brother? What's going on, brothers? Uh, Make sure you hit that notification bell. Therefore, you will be notified when we go live. Also, check out the community tab because we drop content over there on the community tab, letting you know what the topics are going to be about, what we're going to discuss, etc., etc. Um, Today, we got another good topic I wanted to bring to everyone's attention because if you cannot see what is going on in the world, especially after my live stream last week, the financial system is in a wreck. And if you do not understand that they have to do something about this to correct it, then you're living under a rock and you need to wake up and you need to get out from up under this rock and come to the realization that we're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. You know what I'm saying? Times are times are about to change, if I can say it like that. Um, I've told everybody to go check out Project Sandman. You also need to go do your research on Project 2025. Those two projects are very important. Everybody needs to know what's coming down the pike and whether we need to make the decisions on do we need to be trying to get up out of here or not, right? And all these videos that I'm making about this financial stuff and these visas and all this, I'm gonna compile them into a playlist, and I'm gonna name this playlist the "How to Get Up and Get Up Out of Here" playlist because this is the stuff you're gonna need to know just in case you decide to make that decision to leave the United States. I was gonna say Estados Unidos. Speak so much Spanish, I'm starting to. If you want to get up and leave the United States, here are the things that you need to do. First off, let me see who we got up in here because we got a lot of people in here. We got the Quiet Storm. He jumped through here early. I mean, he was the first in here. So we got to make sure we show him a big salute. He's always been the stream sponsor. So he always comes through showing a lot of love. Yes, please donate to the live stream, guys. Please donate because it helps us um, build and keep the confidence going to make more of these videos. Like today, we're going to talk about CBDCs and the difference because I talked about them last week. I already have one video on CBDCs, but today I want you to understand thoroughly what exactly will happen if they institute CBDC. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to review a video that's going to discuss it, right? We're on Rumble. Make sure you go over and check us out on Rumble. I need to update some videos over there. Just go over there, subscribe, follow, and check out the content that we got over there. Also, follow us on Instagram. Instagram's got a lot of short stories, the things that we do in short stuff for YouTube. We can only do them a minute, so long, right? So we have to put them on places like TikTok, um, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. And I still got footage from the last time I was in Medellin and Bejo that I still ain't chopped up that I want to show you guys. Um, I gotta find some time to do it. I've just been so busy at work. It's hard, right? Also, yeah, TikTok. I'm over there too, right? So we just got to talking about that. Tevin King, thank you, sir, for coming through here. Salute to you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Is there a channel you're not a part of? Yeah, he's a part of everything, man. He's a very important person. If you didn't know, man, Quiet Storm he's a real guy. And so when I decided to make my channel, I automatically knew that if he came over through here, I wanted him to be my moderator because he's supported so many channels and he's a real one behind the scenes as well. My guy, the contractor. Hey, contractor, if you still here, I'm gonna drop the link. I want you to come up here and I want you to comment on this video. Let me know if you're still in the chat. I want you to come up here and join the stream. All right. Salute to you, sir. Salute, brother. Yeah, if you still here, contractor, let me know. I'm gonna drop the link. I want you to come up here with me and I want you to give me your opinion on these CBDCs. What's going on? All right. Let me know if you're still here. All right. But yes, today we're going to talk about CBDCs. We're going to do another. All right. Hold on. All right. This link in the chat is only for the contractor. Anybody else trying to come up, you're going to get banned. Play that shit over here. And we're live on Twitch and YouTube right now. Some kind of way, Twitter and Facebook are starting to act a little bougie, man. I don't know what's going on with them. They're acting funny. So we can't go live on Twitter anymore. We can't go live on Facebook anymore. Yeah, I just dropped the link, contractor. Come on up here with me, man. Yes, we're gonna do a little in-depth blind reaction on these videos today about CBDCs, and we're gonna talk about the effect that it's really gonna have on the people that people really understand, right? They really don't understand the magnitude that they can have. My guy, what's going on? Unmute yourself.
Salute to you, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, pimp?
I'm good, man. Out here hustling as always. Left one
Yeah.
job on the way to another one.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. I want to do this video. I'm trying to do this series of videos so people can get a little knowledge and understand what's going on, right? Because I don't know if people really see what they're doing over there, over on the presidential debate stage and all the races and stuff. But it's a smoke screen for the real problems that are going on out here in the world, right?
Right.
And it's really the financial situation is a mess, and we're not really addressing this. And they're using Dumb Donald and Slow Joe to cover it up, so don't nobody really panic about it. And like I did a video last week, and the guy said once everybody realizes what's going on and they panic, it's going to be a religious experience because everybody's going to try to cut and run, and not going to be able to. So we need to try to figure out something. So we'll do it. We'll stay on here about an hour today, man. if you would give me your opinion on what you think about this as well. All right. So
Yes, sir. I got about 30 minutes, and I can chop it up with you, but I can definitely listen from the background.
all right, cool. I'm gonna share my screen right now. We're gonna start the video now. And once again, everyone, I am sharing a video from Kitco News. Please make sure you go over there and subscribe because you need to get real updated news, not the BS and the CNNs, because they're not really talking about what's going on out here. You need to stay up to date, and the only way you're gonna find out the real thing is to come on YouTube and watch these real videos. So
when you have a government and a Fed that has not been careful, that has not, they've been derelict in their duty, right, to keep our currency stable, to not, basically debase the currency. You have people who realize that and are looking for different ways around that. And I think that's been probably the primary driver and interest in cryptocurrency is let's get this decentralized away from these central planners, away from these people who, aren't bearing risks, who have no accountability, and, let people have more control. That's really what that's about. It's about preserving wealth. It's about having control and freedom. What the governments that are exploring CBDC, and as you said, pretty much every government in some way is exploring this. The Fed, although they claim they're not really doing anything right now, they have run pilot programs and they have done research and whatnot. So it's definitely been on the table. But I think what is happening is an intentional conflation between central bank digital currencies and cryptocurrency. And a central bank currency is the exact opposite in terms of purpose and focus and what it stands for than a cryptocurrency, where you have something like Bitcoin, which is entirely decentralized. The whole idea of a central bank digital currency is to give the Fed and, by extension, the government complete control. So if you imagine, any dollar that you have having a microchip in it, and it could be programmable, and not only programmable in terms of where you can spend it and if it expires, but that if you take it to the store, it could be tied into anything. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle, you've eaten too many burgers this month. We think that cows are bad for the environment, so we're not going to let you spend here.
Let me stop it right there. That's my point exactly about a CBDC. All right. Now, what is your opinion on that, sir, if you don't mind?
Well, ultimately, it sounds kind of like something that would occur when another country like China.
They
But
already they already
yeah,
doing
yeah. But see, us as Americans, we're so arrogant, we don't believe it can happen to us. Not us. They
Nah.
would never do us like that. Nah,
It would never happen over here, right? They would
nah. Shit ain't gonna be looking like Soylent Green over here. No, of course not. Of course not.
fathom the idea of telling me I can't have no Big Macs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or it could be worse. They may say all you can have is Big Macs. You can't have no filet mignon.
Right.
You know.
And see, that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand about. See, there's two different types of CBDCs, right? You have wholesale and retail, right? So the wholesale is only what the banks deal with. They just deal with their trading, international, blase, blase. The retail is what they'll use to control you and our money. You know what I'm saying? And what we don't want is the retail CBDCs because if they don't want you, just say like with the Project 2025 stuff, right? If they put that into effect, then they're going to control everything. And if they don't want you going to a certain area to spend money, they will disable your currency. They've already instituted Fed Now. Fed Now is just the gateway because Fed Now is straight to the Federal Reserve. This is ran by the Federal Reserve. So now every ledger that's in a bank It's basically connected directly to Fed now, and that's connected directly to the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve will have direct control over your money. Does that make sense?
Okay, actually, it makes perfect sense,
Yeah.
especially for the times that we're living in. I have my own theories that I've only shared a little bit
Yeah.
down here, but I've said before, our replacements are here, and they they're coming from countries where they didn't have as much freedom as we have.
Mhm.
So if they would have cracked down and said you can't spend over here, okay, see, I guess I just can't spend over here, and it is what it is because where they are here is much better than where they were. But yeah, it all kind of ties together.
Yeah, it does. It does. And people don't realize it was a big deal for them not to redo that deal with Saudi Arabia with that oil. That hurt us. It really did.
Man, the part of the biggest problem is people don't understand, excuse me, how the world works, how the world economy works. They just look at their own little anecdotal experience in life and be like, okay, yeah, this is how it works for me here in my area. Nah, bro, there's a much bigger game at play.
Hmm.
But getting people to realize that is very hard because all they want is for you to keep on giving them what they've been getting, what they've been getting. But
Yeah, that's
they'll
true.
find out.
That's true. That's true. Let's get back to the video. I know you got limited time, so we don't want to burn it all up. Hold on.
And so that is central bank currency is the ultimate, I mean, it's in the name, it's centralized control. And just because it's digital and maybe tokenized or associated with a blockchain, it doesn't give it the same principles as what is driving the movement behind Bitcoin. And I think that's
And that's another distinct feature that they're not really being honest about, and I think they're going to try to confuse everybody with, is that CBDCs, yeah, it's a digital currency, but it's not decentralized. Well, all these cryptos are decentralized. CBDC is centralized, so it's controlled. The whole purpose of having cryptos like Bitcoin and everything like that is to have currency you control, not currency that can be controlled. And I think they're going to try to twist it up and make people a little desperate. You know, some people won't care, but I do. You know,
the scary part in all of this is that there's so much interest in what it is that decentralization can do, but because the masses are not well informed, and people know what a restaurant chain is and they know what a gold chain is, but they don't necessarily know what a blockchain is, and certainly not well enough to explain it and be intimately involved in owning tokenized assets, that it's hard for the average person to separate those. And when you think about some of the tricks that could be used to get people to buy in, no pun intended, to a centralized currency, whether it's a universal basic income, whether it's the promise to control inflation, because they won't tell anyone this, but if they have the ability to turn currency on and off, that's a really clear way for them to control demand. So there are definitely lots of different carrots that they can put out there. Even something as simple as, trade in one of your dollars and you'll get 10,000 digital dollars, and then all of a sudden people be like, oh, I'm going to be a digital dollar millionaire, not realizing that it's about the purchasing power, not about the headline amount. And we've seen that over and over again. That's part of the issue with the stimulus checks here in the United States, which caused inflation. So I think that's the concern that everybody needs to be thinking about when we hear about tokenization of assets and we hear about central bank currencies, we hear about cryptocurrencies. It's just this conflation about, who has the ownership, who has the freedom, who has the insight into that. And because it's new and it's, confusing and sort of uncharted territory for a lot of people, I fear that that's going to be taken advantage of in a very bad way.
Right. And Bitcoin is the complete antithesis of a central bank digital
Correct.
currency, in that it is decentralized and is a response to the failures of the financial system as we saw after the 2008 financial crisis, hence the genesis of Bitcoin. But you bring up this point, which you bring up in the book again, that perhaps the central planners are using the confusion about what a digital currency is versus a cryptocurrency to try to capitalize. And in the book, I found this very interesting. You bring up the example of how in March of 2022, the Biden administration put out an executive order on ensuring responsible development of digital assets, which was really about a central bank digital currency. It started off talking about cryptocurrencies broadly, but then switched to cover policy and actions related to the United States central bank digital currencies, which, as we've just covered, is the exact opposite of Bitcoin and decentralized currencies.
While we're at it, not only do you guys need to go over and check out Kitco News and Michelle, you also need to go over there and subscribe to my guy, The Contractor. And also make sure you go over there and check out Machismo TV. These guys will help you get your mind right and make sure that you are up to date and on point when it comes to things like this and other issues that are men-centric issues. Make sure you check out this clip.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
And I do mean with nothing. They can make it happen. All right, guys. Please make sure you go over there and subscribe and check out Machismo TV. Please make sure you go over there and subscribe to The Contractor. Please make sure you go check out. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel because sometimes they unsubscribe you. Hit that notification bell. Once again, please make sure you are following the Facebook page too. Gracias, mi para mi. My fiance, mi cielo. Gracias, mi cielo. Yeah, it's crazy, man. You can, if you're paying attention, you can see what's coming down the pike, man. It's just, how can we be preemptive enough to avoid the catastrophe that they're planning? Because it doesn't seem like they're trying to do anything about it, contractor. You know what I mean?
Well, first off, for like in regards to the CBD, right?
Mm-hmm.
The government will do the same thing that they always do. They're going to blow up their own balloon. They have more money to dump into that currency than anyone else. So they can create an artificial value. Then they can just snatch it all back out and leave you high and dry. And yeah, you don't want to be you don't want to be that person. But at the end of the day, people are going to pretty much do exactly what the lady was talking about. Yeah, one digital dollar gets you 10,000. Hell, I mean, one real dollar, so-called dollar, gets you 10,000. They like, shit, I'm with it, and they're gonna hop on it. Not realizing you're just trading one one piece of legal tender for another. That's it. It still ain't money for real. But you bought into it. But
Yeah.
its only real value is what you can get people to do for it, and control people. But at the end of the day, it's a great thing that you are putting this information out there for everyone to see, because I didn't know anything about it until you brought it up. I wasn't checking for it.
Oh no, I got a whole nother video on this I did months ago. You know what I'm saying? Long time ago. But it's just the fact that because we're in this presidential race, and one of the candidates, Trump, he's trying to talk about Bitcoin need to be made in the United States and things like this. They're not really addressing the situation that's going on, because the US dollar is the global trading currency.
Right.
Basically, if anybody wanted, well, before BRICS, if anybody anyone wanted to do anything in the world, they had to, use the US dollar to do it. Now there's this big movement to de-dollarize, and we've got some major countries, like BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, right? Now you also have Saudi Arabia, which they just didn't renew the petrodollar agreement. The petrodollar agreement is what gave us the global trading currency status, right? So now they're selling oil in multiple currencies instead of just in US dollars. So they just said, fuck us, basically. I mean, they're still negotiating, but I mean, right now they're accepting all offers. Then you have other countries like that are talking to BRICS. You got Argentina, you got Mexico. Man, there's a lot of people trying to get away from this because they're tired of us sanctioning them. We're bullying people, and it's like it's a there's a thing out there called Project Sandman, where a bunch of countries are planning to just dump the US dollar all at one time. And when they do, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt real bad. And they're not talking about it.
Well, you know what? You remember what happened down in Venezuela, right?
That's exactly my point. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I foresee for the future. Because ultimately, we've been living high on the hog for a long time,
Boy.
and now we have all these people over here that are coming from some of those same countries. That, and they've had it rough. So what we consider hard times, that's a normal day for them. It's easy for me. What? You already saw what they were doing. What they were doing up in New York. They barbecuing them big ass rats on the street like nothing. Like it's nothing.
Like
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if it all goes to pot, I'm just happy that I had a heads up. That's number one. I'm young. I'm strong. I'm healthy, and I'm very resilient. And but my main plan is to get the hell out of here any goddamn way. So I won't be dealing with that issue for too long. You know what I'm saying?
Understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to it's not just so people can, make a clear and conscious decision on what you need to do with yourself. But since you put it so eloquently, yeah, me too.
Hey, you see me? I'll be right there on a paddle boat going across the water. Yeah, going right over to Cuba. I'll be floating into Cuba. Fuck that.
Hey, don't they buy?
Hola, ¿cómo está bien? ¿Y tú? ¿Ah? Hey, papá, mamá.
I'm going
Vámonos, come on.
the opposite way they coming. They're like, hey, whoa. Saludos.
Exactly.
They're like, something ain't right about that. Hey, that's okay. Find out, Yeah. I mean, man, no, man. It's getting bad, dude. And people they're not talking about it, man. And then you got the people who do know about it that they're not trying to put the information out there. They're trying to charge you for it. The game is to be told, not sold. So here's the problem with a lot of things. Everything can have a financial backing to it. I understand we want to get paid and stuff, but it's better to, I mean, it's okay to want to make money, but we can make money off of YouTube instead of trying to make money off of everybody. Things like this need to be put out there.
Right.
These videos,
Right.
they're not going to get a lot of likes and a lot of shares and a lot of, donations sent to it and stuff like that. But one day somebody's going to see this and they're going to be like, you know what? That's good information right there. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to get popular. I'm doing it because somebody need to do it, basically, instead of everyone trying to act so flamboyant and arrogant about things. It's like the world is jacked up right now, and we need to really see what's going on because, especially with people trying to travel, people want to leave, they want to go here and go there, and oh man, everybody's so focused on getting them abroad, overseas, getting them a gal overseas. You're gonna get overseas and then your card ain't gonna work. Why? Because they're gonna shut you down because you didn't know what was coming. You know what I mean? It's people are just focused on the wrong things, man. You gotta.
You know, something that reminds me. I know a couple individuals that when they retired, they went back to Africa, right?
Yeah.
Repatriated back to Africa. Depending on how your 401k is set up and who set it up, they couldn't access their money, man.
You see what I'm saying?
You did what I'm saying to you? They couldn't get their money. More or less, they said you gonna die here. You gonna spend that here.
I wonder why
You know?
why they couldn't. What was the reason behind it? They never told them.
No, they told them, but I don't remember. I just remember the fact that they couldn't access their 401ks. It was because of the company that it was set up through. It wasn't Fidelity. It was somebody else. But they wouldn't let them transfer their money over from their retirement because they wanted to take that money and build schools and do all the stuff that Negroes and stateside dream of about doing it back home in Africa, right?
Right.
So, but they couldn't access it. I think there's some information on YouTube that was talking about it. It was like a whole report documentaries that were made.
Yeah.
So that not being able to access your bread is a very real thing now.
Yeah.
You know.
So imagine if they tokenize it.
Oh yeah, you done. You done.
You know what I'm saying?
You done.
Let's get back to the video. You see where I'm going with it now? Yeah. See, that's a hard one. That is bad. Oof.
But let's expand more on this CBDC. And again, for our viewers, as a recap that are not familiar, this is a form of fiat issued by a central bank. It allows the government to program the currency, as you pointed out.
Hold on. First off, people need to understand the difference between digital and fiat currency. Fiat is this. This is fiat, basically. This is the fiat currency. All right. Fiat currency will get bigger. All right. Fiat. It's not digital. It's physical. Right. Paper dollars, all that type stuff. What CBDC is basically digital. You'll never hold it or touch it again. And in 2025, what people don't realize is all of the banks are going digital. Boom.
Out to decide what transactions will or will not go through. You bring up the meat example. That's certainly one of my concerns. I'll be told I've had too much steak for the month, or I've taken too many flights and I've exceeded my carbon output, so my currency won't work for that purchase, or it will work, but with a big penalty, right? And under the guise of saving the planet. It's also, we've got the programmable aspect, which we touched on, and every transaction can be monitored. So there's zero privacy, zero anonymity, making it so much easier for the government or the powers that be to cancel people if they don't like what they're doing. And as you pointed out in the book, we saw very concrete examples of government overreach during COVID. And you point out the example of the truckers in Canada, how they were effectively taken off the financial system when they protested against mandatory vaccines, and how much it is so much easier to do that when you have a central bank digital currency and you can just click it. So a little more on why a CBDC is such a giant threat to our freedoms. Why it may sound fine and sure, download a digital wallet and we'll give you, digital dollars, and it's just the same as you've been using Venmo or in your bank, as they may spin it. But why is it not like that? And why could it be such a slippery slope to a dystopian future?
Well, I think COVID is a good backdrop because, people saw a lot of behaviors there, but didn't maybe necessarily tie them into the concept of cancel culture or the financial implications there. So we saw people who were ridiculed because, you weren't wearing a mask. And so you got your social credits, you put out in a way where maybe people didn't want to do business with you, or you didn't take a vaccine, so you couldn't participate in the economy. economy. You couldn't, go to restaurants, or in some cases, if you were, a policeman or a fireman, you might have lost your job. We saw them shut down businesses wholesale based not on data and science, but based on political clout and connections. We know that the small businesses bore the brunt of that I couldn't get my hair done at a small salon, but a dog could get their hair or fur, I guess it is, fixed and their nails done at a big box retailer down the street. So if you have a government who is willing to push incentives and disincentives based on, what it is that they want to do to affect change, which we know they do that through taxes, they do that through policy, and now they did it through these crazy mandates in COVID. Imagine that they can do that now with the fruits of your labor. Because one of the things, Michelle, that people always forget is that money isn't sort of the promissory note or, just a number in your bank account. It's a proxy for your productivity. It's what you have earned. And they say this is a way for you to take that, what you have earned, and to give you something that you can go out and trade for goods and services. So you can't just, all these people who want to just add more money to the system. Well, if you don't have an increase in productivity, we know then that has just basically killed what it is that you have done in terms of productivity, and just put more dollars out there chasing the same amount of goods and services.
Yeah, see, let me stop it right there. You see, this is horrible that they really can do this, and they're letting the economy bomb out right now so they can put this into effect. Part of the Project 2025, if the Republicans win, this is going to be what they do, man. They're going to do this. I mean, they're going to enter a merit-based society. So they're going to be able to control what everybody does. And the only person that's going to truly be in power is the president, which is, if Trump wins, it'll be him. What do you think about it?
You ever seen that movie Logan's Run?
No, I ain't never seen that.
Yeah, go get on YouTube and look it up. They lived in a future where once you turned a certain age, they eliminated you, right? And they had people that were law enforcement officers that were assigned with specifically hunting your young but now old ass now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the direction we're going. And honestly, I'm not gonna be here to see it because I'm gonna be in Cuba. So I don't, but I do believe that it's possible. Y'all can go through all that. I ain't doing it. But seriously though, no, they do have the power to do so, and ultimately it will be the elites once more on top, and those who ain't elite on the bottom, just going through whatever rules they decide to make up at their whims. Because it sounds like something from a sci-fi flick, but no, it's real.
It's really, really real.
Yes, sir.
I used to say this when we used to watch the movies, and they used to talk about the credits, and you don't have enough credits in your account to, like what was the movie with Bruce Willis and Chris Tucker? I can't think of the name of it to save my life.
The Fifth Element.
There you go. Movies like that, and I think of this is another movie where they used to have those virtual reality headsets in it. And now look at everybody now sitting at home with VR headsets.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, the society that we live in is going to morph into something very, 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 very similar to that. And you're doing the Lord's work by putting this information out there, because I didn't hear nothing about the CBDC.
They're not gonna say nothing about it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I stumbled on it. You know what I mean? When I started learning about crypto, it's just something that just fell in my lap. I'm just like, okay, what's a CBDC? Oh, this is what a CBDC is. What the fuck? Why ain't nobody talking about this? You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody talking about how to make money off crypto, but nobody's talking about this particular thing. Okay, we need to talk about this. So this won't be the last time I talk about it, because there are other major, like Patrick David, he talks about it on his channel. uh, lots of people are talking about CBDCs. They know what's happening. We don't want it. DeSantis, that was one of his pitches for running for president. He was talking about it. They're not gonna vote for it in Florida. They're gonna try to outlaw it if they try to institute it. So it's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. You just gotta, like, they don't talk about it on the news on NBC or on Channel 5 or Channel 4, stuff like that. You got to be on here and find it. This is what the real news is on YouTube, places like that. Yep.
Okay. All right. My bad, big brother. I just pulled up to this next job.
All right, bro. All right, man.
I can't. I can't see. I'll be listening from the cloud, sir. Thank you for having me on here. Much
No
appreciated.
problem. Thank you for joining. Appreciate the time. All right. All right. Yeah. Make sure you guys go check out the contractor. Go subscribe to the contractor. Let's get back to this video.
And so we don't see people thinking through that enough. So imagine that now you have the fruits of your labor, and not only can the government destroy it through their fiscal policy and their monetary policy, but they actually can go into your bank account or at your point of sale when you're making a transaction, and they can weigh in with their policies and their incentives and their disincentives at that point in time. It takes away your privacy, it takes away your agency, it takes away your freedom. And potentially, if they wanted to, since they're the ones that have put it out, they can take it away. And you may say, well, we've got a constitution to protect that. Okay, well, where are you coming up with the money to go through the court system to fight this, when it happens? So it really is a really scary future. I think it is the number one concern. If you want to do something that's just going to completely destroy the foundation of the United States of America, you bring in a central bank digital currency, and it's just completely over. And I think the people who are interested, in Bitcoin or in gold and silver and other physical metals as hedges, this is one of the biggest theses and concerns that people have worked to accumulate, some proxy for their productivity. They've built up wealth. And, when they have it in a monetary form, that they're worried that can be co-opted entirely by the government. And it is just the absolute most frightening thing for freedom and wealth creation.
I couldn't agree with you more, Carol. That is certainly the issue that keeps me up at night, because so much of our freedom is tied to our ability to use money freely and have that as a real representation of our time and effort. And yes, we've seen our currency devalued and debased, but even so now we still have some control over it, where we wouldn't if we have a central bank digital currency adopted. And again, this isn't some conspiracy, because this is actively happening. We have 134 countries exploring a CBDC. 98% of global GDP. Just 4 years ago, that was only 35 countries. This is according to the Atlantic Council, which is tracking this. This isn't some theory. This was pioneered by the People's Bank of China, which should give us cause for concern in the first place. And they've linked it into a social credit system potentially in the future, because they do have a very active social credit system there. But anything that the People's Bank of China is...
Sensei, the link was only for the contractor to come up. It was not for everybody to come up. It's only for the contractor. All right. So I had to kick you from the studio. I made sure that I announced it before everybody started trying to join. The link that I put in the chat, that was only for the contractor. That's not for everybody to join.
Pioneering should make you, think twice in terms of losing freedom and control. But this is a trend that is growing, and it brings up the question of how likely are we to see one in the United States? I mean, so far we're being told, oh, it can't happen without congressional approval. And if we do get one, it'll be wholesale and not retail. You laughed. Explain why those are not anything to make us feel better about the prospects here.
As she mentioned,
It is
there are over 134 countries right now that are, Sensei, you're not blocked. Let me look at the settings. I don't think I just kicked you from the studio. You're not blocked. You're on YouTube. I see your comments. So, like she said, there are 134 countries right now currently tracking or looking into CBDC programs. And I used to have the tracker here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Let me see if I can find it. All right, let me share my screen. So, currently, these are all of the countries that are. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Looking into CBDCs around the world. There we go. So you actually have 3 that have launched, 35 pilots, got 30 developed in development, 44 that are doing research, 17 that are inactive, and 2 that are canceled. And here's the map around the world showing the programs. Like if I was to click on the United States, you can see here. Yeah, wholesale, both. I'm gonna drop this in the chat so everybody can see it. All right, Sensei, I'm gonna go check. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to do this. All right. So when you can go and you can click on the dots and it'll tell you the status of the active CBDC programs. Also, if you keep scrolling, it'll tell you what they found, tell you the names of the CBDC programs in each country. It shows you the timeline. Also gives you the definition of what CBDC is. So what is a CBDC? CBDC is a central bank digital currency. It's the digital form of the country's fiat currency. It's also a claim on the central bank. Instead of printing money, the central bank issues electronic coins or accounts backed by the full faith and credit of the government. Don't digital currencies already exist? There are already thousands of digital currencies, commonly called cryptocurrencies. But this is where we need to not get them confused, because CBDCs are not cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is the most well-known cryptocurrency. It's, Bitcoin is well-known, fully decentralized cryptocurrency. Another type of cryptocurrency are stable coins, whose value are pegged to an asset or fiat currency like the US dollar. Cryptocurrencies run on a distributed ledger technology, meaning that multiple devices all over the world, not just one central hub, are constantly verifying the accuracy of the transaction. But this is different from a central bank digital currency. So we have to understand the difference between these two things, right? And you need to do your research on these things because they're coming one way or the other. And you need to be prepared for them. And the main thing is we don't want retail CBDCs. We only want wholesale CBDCs if we are given a choice. That's if we're given a choice. I don't think they're going to do it like that. I think they're going to institute retail CBDCs and try to control everything. So I'm just trying to prepare myself for it. And I think you should do that too, because we don't know what's going to happen. All right, Sensei, you was right. Got you. I thought I just kicked. I must have hit the wrong button. All right. So, bottom line is, everyone needs to do their research. Everybody needs to get down and understand what a CBDC is, and you need to make preparations on how you're going to handle yourself if these are instituted. All right. This has been another great episode. Please make sure you are subscribed. Please make sure that you hit that like button. It invites more people into the stream. Remember, we do healthcare consultations too. If you need a healthcare consultation, you're trying to find your doctor in Columbia, hit me up. We'll do a consultation and we'll do the work for you. We'll help you get you a doctor and help you find the healthcare that you need. Most definitely. Everyone needs to be able to afford to take care of themselves. Trust me, I know personally. Um, Hit me up. There will be a fee involved for the consultation, but it's not too harsh. But it's a lot of work that goes into finding you a specific type of doctor. So if you're looking for help, let me know. I can help you. Also, make sure you tell a friend about this. Make sure that you are subscribed, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. I am out.